So we're going to do a Cloud City and Rancor Pit, which we haven't done in a while. For those of you who don't recall, that's Cloud. This is our ranking system for TV shows and movies that we watch. Cloud City means we really like it. Rancor Pit means not so much, and Sarlacc Pit is the worst of all, because that's something that needs to be slowly digested over 1,000 years.
Right. Can you imagine being stuck in the Starlight Pit, being digested, and they keep throwing down these crappy movies to you to watch?
Crappy movies, yeah.
That's the only comfort you have.
1,000 years of
Oh my
torture.
God, it's
Oh, I love
terrible
it.
now.
So I'm going to start out by turning the floor over to Gundark, who I believe has a Cloud City for us.
Yeah, I've got a Cloud City, and I wanted to really do Cloud City because of this. The second season, while we're recording now, the second season of Interview with the Vampire is about to reach its conclusion. I think the penultimate episode is tonight. And this show has just been spectacular. It could have been a huge fail, which is what I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be hokey and cheap and cheesy, and it is so well written. If any of you have watched any of Mike Flanagan's horror shows on Netflix, like The Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass, it's on that level. It's beautifully written. It's compelling. It has tensions where if you've read the novels, it's still going to surprise you, even though it works with the novels really well. And it uses a lot of the dialogue and uh, the Vampire Louis narrations directly in the script, but it also reworks it in surprising ways. And the whole premise is that it's not the original interview with the vampire that occurred in Anne Rice's first novel. In the first novel, it's an interview that happened in the 1970s between a vampire and a young journalist in San Francisco, I think it was. And in this film, what they're doing is they're doing a second interview decades later where the journalist is elderly now and he's dying, and the vampire's invited him back and he's going to retell his life story. And so you get it reworking from different perspectives all of the novels that are go throughout the Vampire Chronicles. It seems like it's pulling stuff from a bunch of different novels, and you don't have to have read the novels to follow it either. It's all just gelling and beautifully written, and you can see how it's reworking perspectives of different storytellers, because everybody now is starting to tell their story in different ways, and so it becomes more and more complex and more layered in terms of the point of view of the events it describes. The farther you get into the series, it just gets better and better. All the actors are top notch. There's an actor I've never seen before, Sam Reed, who plays Lestat, and he is just a revelation. I mean, Lestat's never been performed to my taste the right way, in any of the adaptations or anything that I've seen. I mean, Tom Cruise was okay, but it just, I don't know. This guy has the character, and he draws on stuff from all the different novels, including Lestat's own first person narration in one of the novels, to make this character so compelling, charismatic, and awful. Ooh, you love him and you hate him. You can't wait to see him again, and then you're just appalled by him, when you see him. And so it's a wonderful series. I think that it's going to cover it's going to cover the entire first novel, Interview with the Vampire, in 2 seasons. Whether or not they're going to actually continue beyond that, I don't know, because like I said, they're drawing in material from other novels, but there's still a lot more they could do after this season ends if they want to go further with the characters. But it's one of the best adaptations of literary work I've ever seen. It's very impressive.
Okay. And what service is that on?
AMC.
AMC.
So
okay.
Yeah, so you can record it on your DVR, or you gotta, I think, subscribe to AMC Plus if you want to see it streaming.
Yeah.
So, but it's well worth it.
Very good, very good. 2 thumbs up
It's
from
funny.
Gundar.
It's funny how they can create adaptations of these things that aren't hot at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
just out of nowhere,
all of a sudden they decide to do it right when they had their shot at a huge budget movie with stars and stuff doing it right, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Then somebody comes along and says, I want to do a series. That's the only way to tackle this right.
I thought the movie was okay.
So
the movie was all right with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Yes, the ending was silly.
So bad.
But one of the things about this series too is that it actually goes back and makes fun of something sometimes. It picks up on things that are silly in the novels, and it's like, oh, come on, when they're talking about them again in their interview, So it's actually kind of critiquing the novels and critiquing the previous movie at the same time as it's doing this stuff. So it's cool. If you like Anne Rice at all, you will love it. You will really enjoy it, even if you haven't read the novels. It's really great. My husband loves it, and he's not like a big gothic or horror fan.
I think
So
sometimes the novels were so dense in the
yeah,
way they were written that a media adaptation, which would almost seem impossible if you did it right, could be easier to follow for a lot of people.
yeah,
Like and a lot involve you at a different level. Whereas the novels sometimes got confusing to me because they were so intense all the time,
yeah,
and so much language involved in everything and so many different perspectives that if you simplified it a little bit and took some of the description out of it and just let you see it, it might allow you to have more of your own feelings about it because most of her works are written from a point of view.
yeah,
So your feelings are interpreted through the lens that you're seeing it. You feel, you feel more, only time you feel sympathy for Lestat is when you're with
yeah.
Lestat.
When he's telling the
Yeah.
story, and even
So
then, it's like,
yeah.
dude,
So
all
I think it
right,
might be cool to kind of tell a story more from a visual medium where you could decide for yourself whether what you're seeing is justifiable, whether you're on board with this character or not. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to try to watch that at some point. Do you want me to go next, or do you have something?
Yeah, yeah, you go ahead. I've got one too, but yeah,
What
you
do,
go
what do we
ahead.
call it? What do we call it when we have something new merchandise that we want to show?
Oh, very cool.
they're
There,
cool,
okay,
they're cool.
really
Very
trading
cool.
post. I just want to show this real quick. I got this. Um,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
and
Wow.
it's got a Opic shield on it.
Oh yeah, okay, I see
oh,
it. Nice.
Yeah,
I love the green. The
isn't that cool?
signature. Oh, it's perfect match.
Yeah,
And
that's a perfect. Yeah, that's the green looks perfect.
I picked this up relatively inexpensively for what his signature goes now, and it's 11 by 14. And I ordered it without seeing it. I just ordered it
Hmm.
knowing it was 11 by 14. So I didn't know it was going to be green and signed on the body like that. I've always seen him signed down on the bottom or something, or up here in black.
Yeah, dark in
So
the
so I
sky.
thought
Yep.
that was when I got it, I thought
That's
that's really cool. It's
perfect.
pretty
Yeah.
big signature,
Yeah, that's really
green for the
really
saber.
nice.
Um, you play your cards right, maybe that'll be somebody's Christmas gift.
Wow. Play your cards right.
Please do.
You better be on your best behavior, you mother witches,
Ba-dum-bum.
sons, daughters of witches. Uh, okay, so for I have a real quick. I won't go on and on like Gundark did. But
How dare you, Gundar?
Yeah, sure.
Hog
she
the
went into
spotlight like that.
Gundarkian rage where she just talks and talks. Um, you should hear her in her lonely cell in the spice mines where she gets going, talking to no one. Um, no, I have a sarlacc pit, and if there's anything beneath the sarlacc pit where the sarlacc defecates in the sand, this is where this needs to go.
Okay.
It's on Netflix, and it's called Under Paris, and it's way
Oh.
under Paris. It should be under like the worst city in the world,
Oh my
but
goodness.
it's a shark movie. Don't be fooled, people. It's like
What?
Lady Rodian sent me a link saying, "Hey, we should watch this. They're saying great things about it." And I was like, so I turned it on for a minute and I was like, hell no, no way. It's like it just shows you the review system and everything is just clickbait now, to get you to
Yeah.
watch stuff because it is terrible. It is so freaking awful. It is just awful. It's about sharks in the Seine. And
Oh, come
yeah,
on.
and it has the Jaws thing of we're going to do a however meter race or something in the Seine at the end, which the mayor is like, we got to do this for our, even though Paris been on forever, we don't need the money from this at all. For some reason, we're going to do it, and even though they're just like sharks all in the Seine now, and so of course people get devoured and stuff, and it's hilarious. But
It's
this is
always hilarious when people get devoured.
it begins with this whole team of shark scientists who are the stupidest people you've ever seen. Scientists are either so smart that they're evil or they're just dumb as dirt, and these are dumb as dirt, and they get eaten by it. They go f with this like 25-foot mako shark. They see it swimming around. They go, oh, let's go screw with that. That sounds like a good idea. And of
Yeah.
course, that pisses it off and it eats them. This is one of those movies where the shark is justified in everything it does. So,
Right.
because humans are bad, and
Yeah.
oh my God, and there's so much more. If you really want to just delve into something terrible and just laugh your ass off, just fast forward through bits until you see people giving speeches. Watch those. Those are horrible. They're worth watching just for horrible. And then the shark sequences, which are mostly at the beginning and at the end. Um, anyway, that's the lowest of the
I'm
low.
gonna watch Mega Shark versus Colossus next weekend.
There's no
Okay.
chance
It
that's worse
better
than
be
this.
better.
The Sharknado, any
I mean,
Sharknado movie is way better than this.
I
This tried
mean,
to be serious.
What?
There's that show halfway through the movie, like one of the characters being haunted by the memory, and it flashes back to it. It's just as dumb in the flashback. It's like, of course you're haunted, because you're just too stupid to live, and yet you live because you're ordained as the main character. It's the only
Well,
reason.
what? Okay, is this a French film or is it an American
I think
film
it's
or is it
French. I don't know.
is it
It's bad.
subtitled?
Whatever it
Is
is
it?
is.
it in English?
That's what I'm saying.
It is the fromage of hell,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And it has a lot of little dingy boats going around the Seine, like with guys in police uniforms, and so it's almost like it's trying to be a series about these guys that patrol the Seine, and then they're kind to the homeless people. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna do a thing with the mayor, so you homeless guys, you can come back in 2 weeks. It's fine." Like, oh, that's great. Good to know,
Wow.
since I, planning to go be there to homeless, go hang out by the shark infested Seine. But it
Under
did have a kind of
Paris.
cool ending. If you just want to watch the ending, it was so apocalyptic that I was happy. It was like,
And
hope everyone died because
it was okay.
all
It's
of
called
Earth was too
Under
scared to
Paris.
live.
Is that what you said?
Under Paris, yeah.
Under Paris. Okay.
Mhm. That's where the anus resides. It's under Paris. If
under
you're wondering,
under the Starlight Pit.
right. And then the praise I want to give the Cloud City is the new season of Evil. I have not watched the whole thing, and I don't think it's been released yet, but it's great. It continues right
Mhm.
in the tradition of how fantastic. I mean, just a fantastic show, unless you are devout religious type and you can't just take a joke.
Yeah.
Then you might find it disturbing because it is disturbing. But that's what makes it great. Acolyte, take notes. If you're not willing to go full out, you're not really going anywhere. So anyway, it's great. I've endorsed it before on our channel back in the first season, I think. It has the guy from Lost and from
Harold
Person of
Perrineau.
Interest.
Person of interest.
Yes, that guy.
No,
Yeah.
I
not
got his
Harold
autograph.
Perrineau.
Oh, no?
It's the guy who played Harold Finch in Person of Interest, the scientist. What's the actor's name?
I'm drawing a
He was
blank.
you met him, so Carillion.
Oh,
So
you're
yeah,
talking about the guy who played Linus?
yes,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Very
plays
cool.
just another tremendous. Like this guy's gonna
Mm,
have the Emmy reel from hell by the time he
yeah.
Oh,
retires.
yeah. He's
I mean,
phenomenal.
it's just
He's
he's
fantastic. Yeah.
whether he's playing a sympathetic character. He's also in Fallout and does a good job, very briefly in there.
Hmm.
But he's the standout in Evil. But everyone's cast perfectly. It's a show that shows many points of view at once and has a lot of fun. Just being hilarious and taking a crack at kind of making fun of conspiracy theories, apocalyptic stuff, religion, atheists, scientists, everything. Nobody's immune,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it seems to have no fear.
no, it
Yeah.
has no
It's
fear at all.
Michael
And
Emerson. Sorry, I
Michael
was
Emerson,
Michael
drawing a
Emerson,
complete blank
yeah.
there,
I
but
can't
yeah,
about it.
Michael Emerson. Yeah,
This guy's one of my favorite, actors of that caliber
absolutely.
on television and stuff. And you look at him, and it's like he looks like he's playing accountant, but he plays everything brilliantly. And
Right.
he's the most evil son of a bitch ever in this thing. But he's like the emperor. He's having so much
Yes,
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
he's
He's
very
enjoying being
funny.
evil.
Yeah, it's just the look on his face.
Excellent.
Even when he gets set back a few paces, he's like, calculating, like instantly calculating, like, oh shit, how can I? This will be a challenge. But
No.
anyway, those two things.
Okay.
Avoid like Plagueis, the Under Paris, and Evil is still great. It's still great. Flock to it.
Awesome.
Give it
Okay.
ratings. Maybe they'll somehow do a spinoff, or it's supposed to be the final season.
Yeah,
So
this is his last
I'm hoping
season.
for more. It shouldn't be over. So
Yeah. All
Mhm.
right. Okay. Time out while I grab something for my Cloud City. I'll be right back.
okay, well, you can just
All right. So I also have a Cloud City. And it's not really, this movie is not new to any of us. Anybody watching this probably, I would hope not anyway. And Greedo can chime in at some point because when he made the the cross galaxy trek to Corellia a couple of months ago to visit me, we did watch this together, and it's the new sort of 4K version of
Oh,
one of the most classic movies of all time.
yay.
Uh, I thought
Steal
it
up.
was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I went into it kind of hesitant because if you don't know what they did, they basically went through and used AI to polish it up. And if you've seen that on photographs, it looks to me like garbage. I don't really like it a lot. It has its pluses and minuses, but on this film, again, it also has pluses and minuses. It does clean it up. It does look in a lot of ways like, oh, this was filmed yesterday, with the latest
Amazingly like
equipment.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And it's in other ways, I think it loses, and I believe Greedo, you agree with me on this. We talked about it. It loses a bit of its flair because you lose some of that graininess. The graininess is
The gritty
gone.
realism. Yeah.
Yeah.
That grainy realism, that popping you get, that old grainy popping you get on the film that
Yeah.
kind of added to the ambiance of a movie like Aliens.
Yeah.
So it's good and bad, but overall, I would say it's definitely worth checking out. I enjoyed it. There are a couple of scenes where, especially when you get the close-ups of the faces, you can like see the pores in Ripley's face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how clear it is. It's
And they're
like they're
perfect
sitting in
in
the room with you.
Swedish or
What's
Dutch
that?
or whatever. I said they're perfect in Swedish or Dutch or whatever she was.
Yeah.
Her pores are perfect. Yeah. She's
Right.
perfect.
So anyway, so that's my Cloud City. I would say check that out. I like ever since 2003 when James Cameron did the extended cut of Aliens. That's the only version I've watched since then. So for the last 21 years, that's all I've watched is because I like the 25 or whatever minutes he put back into it. Um, However, this version is the original theatrical version, so you do lose all of that. So I was missing that when I watched it because I'm just so used to watching. So it almost, I think I made the comment to Greedo that, like, man, it felt like the Cliff Notes version of Aliens because I'm so used to watching one that's like a half
Mhm.
hour longer. But but yeah, it definitely worth checking out. This one right here, and it's a 3 disc set. It's got a 4K version. It's got a Blu-ray. It's also got some special features and things like that. So if
That
you're
is
into aliens
cool.
like I
And
am, and we are,
yeah.
check it out. It's worth it.
And I'll say I had no reservations about it. I'll endorse it with zero reservations. I was amazed by it, and I really didn't think it cost. I was waiting for it to creep me out a little, or give me the
Hmm.
uncanny valley, or to have a reason to not like it. And for me there was nothing. I can differentiate like a newest version does not replace the old one.
Yeah,
There's still those sources out there. They're not trying to just erase the old one with this. They're just trying to push
Clean it
technology
up.
forward
Yeah.
and make more off the movie. I mean, you
sure.
can't really make the movie any better than it was,
No,
except just cleaning it
improving
up a bit and
quality.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, even from the first scene on, where the probe is coming in, cutting through
Oh, that
to
looks so
Ripley.
great.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's like yeah, you're like this is. I believe this was done last month.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like it was a
Um,
film made, yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
and if there was ever a movie that deserved that, and the costumes don't look worse. Like a lot of
Mm-mm.
times when you go to super high def, things start
Yeah.
looking
Things start
weird,
looking
Yeah.
like
really a little
like with Lord of
hokey
the
and
Rings.
yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with all the nose extensions and wigs and shit.
Yeah.
And but but no, it really didn't strike me as any of that. And you still have the director's cut, you still have the original. The
Yep.
graininess and grittiness, I'm not sure that anymore that's so much of a benefit beyond us, the ones who
Hmm.
were there originally. I think younger people looking at stuff,
Wouldn't care about
they
that.
think
Yep.
somebody put it through an Adobe filter, to make it look
Right.
old. Who
Right.
put the filter
They
on
think they
here?
did the reverse on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I don't know that it's too much benefit to people other than us who saw it in film,
Hmm.
projected in film on a huge screen, and it's just a totally different experience. You got to separate them and accept them for what they are, and I just thought it was brilliant, and
Yeah, it's really well done. Yeah, I highly recommend it. So yeah, that's my Cloud City.
I
So
want to say also, it's awesome to
yep.
talk about a movie where you just don't instantly start talking about plot holes or thinking of plot holes or
Yes.
Yeah.
or
Yes.
this doesn't make sense because of this or that. And it just insulted your intelligence. It's such a tight, great movie,
Yeah, absolutely. And to this day, one of the most quotable movies of all time.
Yeah,
It's like the dialogue is phenomenal in that
it
film.
is. It's
Yeah,
hilarious
it is it
and
is
great.
perfect. It's perfect for that film. So, all right. Well, yep, thanks for checking out Cloud City. We'll see you next time when we have more to dump into the Sarlacc pit or to fly high in the clouds.